Well, we have all heard of midlife crisis, right? But what if you are 20-something years old or know a 20-something-year-old and they seem to be going through a similar type struggle? There are issues with quarter life crisis as well, and that's when the 20-somethings in your life could find it difficult to cope with the burden of post-college issues such as unemployment, debt, personal relationships. Clinical psychotherapist Cindy Crane joins us now, of course, with Crane Counseling in Bethesda. Sydney, always nice to see you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So we all saw, with sadness, really, if we can be honest, heaviness of heart, Michael Phelps falter with a second DUI, and he came out and said, you know, I need to find out what's going on with me. And it sort of sparked this whole conversation of what could possibly be going on wrong with somebody who's in their 20s, right in the prime of their life, some would argue, but this is a real concern for many people.
It really is. I think we take for granted that, you're in your 20s, it should be a time of fun, and it's pre-mortgage and pre-kids and pre-responsibilities, but actually there's more and more pressure facing our 20-somethings today than ever before, with the low, rates of jobs that people can find and the pressures financially and otherwise. And we're sort of acting out in ways that are more typical of someone you might see in a midlife crisis, kind of a meltdown way.
Right. So what are the symptoms that we should look out for?
Right. Well, I would really say that it's sort of all the hallmark classic symptoms of depression, anxiety, withdrawal, or acting out, and sometimes in a substance abuse way, and really starting to see some faltering behavior.
Okay. You know, we often think, really, when we think midlife crisis, we think the older gentleman, he buys the sports car, gets the young girlfriend. These are kind of, and people kind of laugh it off, but the depression piece is real. I mean, this is a real issue that you probably need help for.
I see this a lot in our practice. 1 in 5 20-somethings will say they're very depressed. And it's partly because of, emerging, for some of us, emerging mental health issues we haven't dealt with. But mainly it's more that we're just sort of overwhelmed with the idea of having to take the rest of our life in our own hands and make decisions that will affect us for the rest of our lives. And it can be, for some people, very overwhelming and flooding. We kind of call it like a mid-life crisis blues situation that's happening much earlier and in much greater numbers, and it's really concerning.
You touched on something, before we can talk about anything positive out of this, you touched on something that I just wanted to explore for a moment, that a lot of times the symptoms of other mental health issues make themselves known right in that sweet spot of 19, 20, 21 year old. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, no, we actually know that some more severe types of mental illness don't present until late teens, early 20s.
Right.
And there's the other part that our prefrontal lobe doesn't finish developing until we're really 25. So we're even looking at adolescence not truly ending until 25. So that 25 age is one where we really do see more of this sort of maybe dramatic breakdown in ability to cope with basic anxieties and pressures that some of the others can handle better.
Okay. Let's give a link to your practice, because you say this could be a catalyst to making your life better. So how do people get in touch with you?
Oh, thank you. Well, they can reach out to me through the Fox 5 website at Talk to Cindy. Hashtag Talk to Cindy, or at my website, Cindy Crane, CraneCounselingLLC.com.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay.